Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Card Bar Hobby Chats, episode number 8. Tonight, I am excited to bring this guest on. He is a great friend of mine in the hobby. He lives right in the same town as I do, and we have a lot of great joy in that. We are able to put on some awesome local events here in town, and he does a great job in organizing and getting that all set up. And he's just, I sure appreciate what he has added to just the collecting journey that I've been on, ever since meeting this guy. And you guys will have that opportunity this evening to kind of see what he's going to offer us and share with us tonight. And he's just a great guy and enjoys the hobby, has a lot of great passion in it. And I am just grateful and I'm honored to have him, as a great friend. And so looking forward to having him just kind of explain, his hobby journey, his memories growing up, in his collecting journey, and just sharing some cards. And so hopefully you guys will all enjoy this episode this evening, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and bring him in. Jerid, are you there?
Hey, man. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you.
Not much. How are you, Jerid?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Kansas weather, right? Like
that's right.
One day, 90
that's
degrees.
Right. Yeah. It was a nice warm one here. So just actually had my daughter's t-ball practice we had tonight. So that was always fun, and she had a good time at that. And so now we're doing an episode tonight. So definitely glad to have you on. And when I thought of doing this for my channel, I wanted to have you on and just kind of share your journey and your story and just some of what you like to collect. And so if you would, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get started for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks again for having me on. It's funny. We're less than probably, a half mile away from each other?
Exactly.
So my name's Jerid, and I am a father of 5 kids, a husband of over 20 years, and I am a card addict. I started collecting when I was a kid, and I'll be the thing I tell everybody. And I think it was true in my childhood. I didn't really realize it until now, but I think about 50 to 60% of why I collect is I love to organize stuff. So when I was a kid, all my football and baseball cards were organized. Now, and I know Ryan can attest to this, all my football and baseball, everything's organized. But I don't know. I loved the card hobby as soon as I got into it as a kid. And I learned so many players that most kids my age didn't even know about, like, the off the grid guys, because I collected cards. And so I knew the Mark Kelslows and the Don Beebes and all those football guys. And
definitely.
Yeah. So I started collecting when I was a kid. Was out of it for a good chunk of my high school years and whatnot, and even college, and then got back into collecting. We were out at Walmart with our boys, and we're walking down the card aisle, and one of my sons just like, "Dad, what are these?" And like, the rest is history, man. Like,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I dove full face back into it. But the cool thing was I dove into it with him. Yeah. And it's a blast. I love it, and I like the community that has been built, including you. Just that's my favorite part that I've experienced up to this point about it. Yeah. So that's kind of a short version of me. I know you're gonna go into some questions and stuff like that, but I came up with the name Card Collector Corner because every desk I've ever used, and you can see in the background, I always put the desk in the corner. So that's where I came up with Card Collector Corner.
Love it. That's awesome name. Great name for you. Now let's talk a little bit about that. You have an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You have an Instagram. You have a channel on YouTube, right?
Yeah, and I used it. I did it pretty frequently for a long time, and then kind of gotten away from it.
Okay.
But I do have a channel, and honestly, you're the one that's kind of inspired me. I'm like, I need to get back to this because this is fun stuff.
That's right. We need, some of us, in this YouTube community, we need more Kansans, on starting channels and that. Well, there's Jayhawker Mike. I don't know if you've watched
Yep.
him, but he's had a lot of, he's put out a lot of great videos and content, and he's kind of we're trying to get more Kansans involved and start channels, and then that way if we go to shows and that we can just have good times at card events and shows and that, and so just trying to broaden the community and the area we're at. So, but no, it's just been a joy. Like I said, you've become a great friend of mine. Definitely appreciate you. And really, I mean, would you say we probably met about 3-4 years ago, I'd say.
Yep.
Roughly.
Parking lot of church.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I would say about 3 to 4 years ago we met, and it's just been always great because we have a great common likeness in how we kind of collect too. I mean, I know you collect, and we'll get into the teams you collect and that, but we enjoy collecting baseball, football, and I get a little bit of basketball, not as much as you do, but definitely enjoy collecting the baseball and the football side like you. But no, I just wanted to kind of just showcase you and have you on and have others, kind of see, what type of collector you are and what type of cards you're into. And we're just going to have a great hobby chat. That's really what this series is all about, is just connecting other collectors and just collaborating and having a good time with it. So, we'll just go ahead and get started here. You kind of briefly said when you started. So you started as a kid. About what age do you think that was when you started?
I would say probably like 9 or 10.
9 or 10. Okay.
10 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
My uncle would actually take me, and we had a store in town nearby where we live, and there's a whole wall of cards, and he'd take me in, and we'd pick out a few packs, and like it was just the thrill of opening a pack, and you always had those few rookies you were chasing, but
for sure,
man, that's kind of when it started for me. He got me kind of hooked on it. So
okay. So were your parents ever interested? Did they get you interested, or was it just strictly him?
Yeah, just strictly him. And
just strictly him. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously supported me because they bought me binders and stuff like that. So
there you go.
But yep, it was strictly him.
Awesome. Great. Well, I mean, and now you kind of know my family history a little bit briefly. My parents, but I'm an only child, and so my parents really got me started, and that's kind of how I got into it, and just we had a bond of going to shops and shows, and like I said, you still know them, and they still go to shops and shows, and they're still involved and going down as much as they possibly can, and adding to their collection as well. So, but yeah, I just was kind of interested to hear the beginning of how you started, and that's awesome that he got you going on this hobby. So very cool. So yeah, definitely. All right. So now what all do you collect? What type of, sets, maybe years, players, teams? What do you go after?
Yeah. Let me first say, dude, I seriously love seeing you and your dad like at shows set up. Like there is like nothing better than that, just to see. I think it's so cool that you and your dad are so involved and connected. I absolutely love it. And I mean, you got two parents that are always hunting for stuff for you. I mean, that's a bonus. I'm just saying, man, seriously.
It is definitely a great thing when they're still looking kind of to see what you're interested in. Cause I mean, they definitely know what I like and kind of what I'm going after. And so, they get to more shops than I really do.
Yeah.
The way, I've got, younger children, so it's a little harder for me to get to card shops and that, but on the weekends, they'll go to Manhattan, they'll go to Lincoln, Nebraska, they'll kind of, and just find shops, and they'll go see what they can run across. And it's really cool. And yeah, we're getting back into having my dad at shows. He always tags along with me at the McPherson show. That's something that every time I set up at that show, he wants to come. Awesome. Just because, he enjoys, he's a lot similar. He likes talking with the community, just enjoying it, talking sports, and And really, that's what it's all about. The cards bring us together, but
Yeah.
it's really the people, that we're able to develop those bonds and those relationships and become friends. And then the next just show that we set up, we see them, and it's just common ground at that
Yeah.
point. So,
I mean, just
but
imagine you and I literally live, like I said, like less than
yeah,
half a mile. We may not even know each other if it wasn't for cards, even though we live that close to each other.
exactly. I mean, it's a good likelihood we wouldn't have
Yeah.
known. And
Yeah.
actually, recently, we moved here to Minneapolis in 2023, and we used to live in a town, Lincoln, that was about 30 miles from here. And so my wife got a job, a little closer this way, and so we decided to move over here.
Yeah.
And it's just been fun having you in town because
Yeah.
it's always when we put those events. Well, I should say you're the one that gets it all organized in that, and you put on a great event. Try to do it at the end of the month, and you have it available for kids and collectors to come in. It's
Yeah.
really cool what you've done and put out there in this community, because when we try to get the youth involved, that is the future of our hobby.
Yeah.
So if we can get middle school to high school kids, or even younger, but sometimes we get younger kids even coming, get them interested in it, and then by the time they're 30, 40, 50, 60, they can still join and still be a part of it. So yeah, I mean, you deserve a lot of credit for what you bring to this community on that hobby front.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Well, I
sure.
mean, and you deserve a lot of credit for supporting me through it, because, I mean, I do. I love it. And it's amazing how many kiddos we have more and
Yeah.
more coming to that thing. And that's
Yeah.
my favorite part about it. I love the community of other adults that I build
Yeah.
too. But man, those kids, that was why we started the
Yeah.
trade event, was because my boys wanted to get their friends involved in sports cards.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's set up something and have them come. And
Sure.
that's been going on for, I think, 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got something great started. And as long as if we can get even more youth involved, I think that would be would be for the even better, if we could get even more kids down there and interested in, just kind of the way of collecting and staying in the hobby. And yeah, for sure. So
Oh, you were asking me what I collected. I forgot. I got us all sidetracked there.
it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure we'll get sidetracked on a few of these, so it's all right.
So my primary PC is Denver Broncos, Kansas Jayhawks. I actually kind of reinvented my collection. I decided to try a reset, and so my primary focus is I focus on like the Ring of Honor players for Denver and KU football, and then KU basketball. I focus on retired jersey players as well. And I mean, now that ain't to say I'm going to turn down some Denver and KU stuff that isn't on that list.
Sure.
My son's already making fun of me because I've already branched outside that again. He's like, you can't stay focused, can you, Dad? And I can't. But I try to rein in more. I'm trying on this reinvention of focusing more on numbered memorabilia, autographs, because I mean it's crazy easy to just buy every single card of every single Bronco. But I did decide via someone I follow on Instagram or YouTube. I did decide to start building just the team sets out of every. So just the base team, so all the base Broncos.
Awesome, very cool.
Just as a little side, you can do that dirt cheap,
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
No, you make a good point about having to kind of narrow that, because in this ultra modern scope, there's just so much of it, and you can get. I mean, you seriously can get overwhelmed by what's all out there. And so if you do collect, a certain, college or certain professional team, you do kind of have to to some extent, kind of narrow it down, because there's just so much of it out there. So,
and it's helped me too, like by doing this Ring of Honor and retired jerseys and stuff, it's helped me to learn a little bit more and appreciate the history of my team, because obviously, I grew up with, and maybe I would say I really didn't follow Denver till mid '90s, and KU basketball, about the same. So
Sure.
To know and learn the history of some of the players before that, this Ring of Honor thing has been really cool for me, just to kind of research some of these guys too. So it gives me a better appreciation for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, you make that point of learning about the history of guys, and that's the reason why I'm getting into the pre-war and the vintage on the baseball side, is because I want to know about those guys during those eras and just kind of what they had to go through, and just the kind of how baseball was played back then, and just all the different sets. Like you get into the pre-war, and it's a whole different. A whole different rabbit hole to go down, and you've got so many different tobacco sets, and and then it branches into like food issue sets and beverage sets, and which is really cool stuff. Really cool stuff, but it can get to the point where even that's kind of hard, and it can get pricey when you start getting into some of that. But yeah, so no, I mean. It's kind of interesting because, you collect Kansas Jayhawks and Denver Broncos, and I'm a Kansas State Wildcat fan and a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And so you would think that we would kind of clash. And there's times where we like to talk a little bit, but for the most part, you're pretty clean when it comes to the talking, which I appreciate.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I get annoyed enough by the talkers towards me. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't. I only reason I talk is if I get pushed too far.
Yeah, and it's all in fun, but some people take it too far, and it's just that's rivalries. You've got the K-State KU. Kind of the bitter hate, and then you've also got the Broncos and Chiefs bitter hate. So that's just part of being a rival. So but no, we have good fun, and we do a good. I think we both do good in what we collect on both of those scopes. You collect some great cards of those teams, and I try to pick up some cards that I really like of my teams as well. And so it's it's a great way to collect, and that's why I say it's kind of likewise, even though we don't have the similar teams, but we are kind of in the same thought process on how we collect. So, which is really cool.
And we're looking out for each other because we're always grabbing stuff we might everyone might like, which is a great part of the community as well.
Yeah. Whenever you can go to a show or a shop and you see something that someone like, oh man, I think you might like that, and you just snap a picture and send it to through a text and be like, are you interested? And it's just really cool that we are able to do that. So, but for sure. Do you have a favorite set or card design? Now, I mean, most of us collectors, we have a lot of, it can change on a daily basis, favorite sets we like, but do you have a favorite set or a certain design of card that you like?
I can't wait for Topps Chrome to get licensed and come back to football. That's my favorite. That's just my favorite design. So I would say Topps Chrome is probably my top. And as far as like parallels, like I'm a traditional guy. I love the straight silver stuff. Like nothing beats a beautiful hollow with a little gleam to it. Like I love colors. I love color matches, with my Broncos and stuff like that. But man, there's just something so clean about a perfect like silver sheen on a card. Yeah, I could take that all day.
No, and Topps Chrome is it's fantastic. And you think about the refractors. I love the refractors. The Topps Chrome refractors, pretty hard to beat. And like you say, when football comes out, that's going to be highly sought after. That I have a feeling the price of that's going to be pretty expensive. It's not going to be cheap. We'll just put it that way. So
I'm going to be looking for the used car lot. I'm going to be waiting until someone else drives it, and then I'm going to buy it.
I was going to say I'm going to hit up eBay and just buy individuals of what I like out of that. I have a feeling. So, but no, that'll be fun to collect and go after. And you bring up those points on like insert sets, and I tell you what. I like the early 90s inserts
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of great, like I think of like the early finest refractors in baseball and basketball, and even the beam team inserts. I think those are fantastic. And so um, now, I mean, it's cool because they're bringing those back
Yeah.
out, and
Yeah.
like Stadium Club's bringing Beam Team back out, and it's really cool. I know this last Stadium Club release, actually for baseball, has the actual first like '93 design of the Beam
Oh.
Team,
Oh, that's
so
cool.
really nice looking. So it kind of gives you that feel of what the '93 style, but with these modern guys on it, which is really cool. So
You bring up like that'd be my other realm that I love is '90s basketball,
mhm.
especially inserts. I
Yeah,
mean, just the basic inserts they did in the '90s are just, I mean,
agree.
they
Yeah,
make some
they're
of the short print like case hits look pathetic today.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
they do.
they were just inserts. One of
Yeah.
the ones one of the ones that I love, and I'd like to do some build some sets of it is the
Mhm.
Hall of Heroes.
Mhm.
Those inserts they have
Yes.
those like basketball, baseball. I don't think they did football, but
I
um,
don't think so. I think you're right. I don't think there's football, but
but
yeah, I remember the baseball ones. The baseball ones
yeah,
are great
the
because
I've
like the
seen
Hall
a
of
few of the
Cooperstown.
basketball
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah, they're cool.
they're sweet. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, well, you picked out a good set for sure. I think we're definitely looking forward to Topps Chrome football. So both of us are. So um not sure if you have a definite answer. This definition kind of varies from collector to collector.
yeah.
But on this one, Grail, I mean, I think
Hmm.
before I ask you the question, I think every collector has a different definition of what a grail means or a grail card. Some can be inexpensive and some can be really expensive. So I guess, what is your ultimate grail that you would love to add if if money wasn't an option, but maybe not. It just depending on what you answer. Jared, did I lose you? I think I lost you, Jared. Did I lose you? Well, maybe I lost you. We'll see if he comes back. Jared, are you there? We'll see if he hops back in here a moment. We'll give it some time. Jared, are you there?
Yeah, it just cut out all of a sudden.
That's all right. I went ahead and just kept it rolling, so that way
Okay,
we don't have to go back or that. So
sorry about that.
um, I don't know how much you heard of what I was going into. I was going into um, we all as collectors have a different kind of definition of grail or grail card.
Yeah,
Some kind of use that definition as an inexpensive grail card that they're looking for, or an expensive one.
yeah.
I guess what I'm asking is if maybe if money was no option, or maybe not in general, whatever you answer, what is your ultimate grail card that you would like to add?
I'm a, and we'll probably talk about this in a little bit, but I'm like a low end guy. That's kind of where
Mhm.
my wheelhouse is. But so my dreams probably aren't as high as a lot of people's are as far as price. But honestly, I've seen this several times on Instagram and Facebook. There's a Super Bowl 50. Uh, it's a autograph set of the Denver Bronco team. It's a set of autos, and honestly, I know that might be pretty minor, but like to me, that'd be pretty cool to have that whole set of autographs. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's awesome. You're a Denver Bronco fan, and so it's a just a commemorate. You're
yeah,
commemorating the Super Bowl win, and no, I think that would be awesome.
yeah.
So I think
I
that's a great choice.
I can't think of anything like crazy big or huge that like would excite me a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like like I said, being a kind of a lower end guy,
Sure.
I'm kind of more about like some cool, sick looking than one big bad boy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Now,
sure.
if that
For
one
sure.
comes up, I'll make sure and tell you what it was when I see it. But
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good, like I say, that's a good definition of for you for your grail, and I think, and that's like what I said. It doesn't have to necessarily be high value. It can be it could be a $5 card, and that's perfectly fine. And we all collect in our own way on what brings us joy and excitement. And sometimes it's $5 cards, and sometimes it's $2,000 cards. It just depends. It's just I mean, and it could be a wide range. It could be more than 2,000. I mean, as you know, you get into some of them old cards, you're talking big money. So,
well, so
but
on that note, what's yours?
what's mine? Oh man, I've got. That is a good question. That is a very good question. I tell you what, recently, and you're going to kind of think this is a little interesting, although I collect this guy. I would love to pick up the 1993 finest refractor George Brett.
Ah, okay.
But I'm not going to pay $700-800 for just a raw one of it.
Wow.
So that's kind of where
insane.
that card is at right now. I mean, and that's even a raw one. I mean, they're expensive, and I understand the value and the drive of the cost on those, because it is the first refractor set, and so that's a lot of people are getting more interested in trying to get those just because it's the first finest refractor set. But for me, I'm not going to spend $700 on a refractor card. I just not. As much as I would love to get into one, I don't think I'll. The only way I would do it is if I ran across it and someone just didn't know that they didn't know what they had, basically, and but and you never know. I mean, sometimes you run across if you go to a garage sale or a flea market and someone doesn't realize what that is. It can happen, but most of the time, most people are going to know that that's a pretty good card. So I would say that's probably pretty high on my list.
Cool.
And that's that's a newer card. But I've got some older baseball cards that I would love to add, but I would say probably right now is probably that. I would love to get a Babe Ruth playing days card. But those aren't terribly high, just depending on what set you get into. So, but
well, maybe one of your viewers here will happen to know where they can get a good George Brett 1993 refractor at a really good deal.
Maybe it's possible, and I think there's hope that I'll run across one at some point.
Have you seen him? Have you seen him in person?
I have not seen that one. I've seen others, but they're fantastic. Yeah, they're awesome looking. I don't. I have not ran across. I've never seen the Brett in person, and so I'm pretty sure I would love it. Right when I saw it, I would probably. It'd be hard for me to walk away from it, but I would see that price tag and then I would have to walk away from it. So
it's probably good that you haven't seen it in person, is what you're saying.
You're probably right. It probably is a good thing that I've not ran across that card. So, but yeah, for sure. All right. What is a favorite hobby memory of yours? This could be from your childhood or this could be from a week ago. What is your favorite hobby memory? One of them, I should say.
Oh, actually, that's a pretty easy one for me. It was the first card show that I ever took my boys to, and we actually went with a good friend of ours and his son, who well, who is now really big into collecting, and it was kind of a father-son trip, and it was awesome to see my boys dive in. And short of having to go back and retrace and find their wallet a few times because they'd leave it on the table every time. Just warning you, when your daughter decides to go, just make sure she's got her wallet with her at all times.
She might. She has a fanny pack, so maybe we'll just keep her in the fanny pack as long as we don't lose that, we're good.
They were too young at the time. Fanny packs hadn't come back around yet. So. but that, and we actually, it's cool. My son's a senior this year, so we're kind of getting
Awesome.
pictures ready, and
Yeah.
That was one of the pictures I came across, was just some of those of that day. And like, I mean, hobby wise, there's nothing cooler than being able to share it with your kids. And that was such a fun experience. And again, like, historically, it's like, now look where we are, because you know, we invited them and they dove in, and
exactly.
So, by far my favorite.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. That's great. And that's what it's about. Like, I'm just getting to that point. My daughter's 4 years old, and my boys are 2, so they're a little ways from that yet. We're not anywhere close to that with them. But my daughter, she's been kind of asking about it. She's been seeing, Daddy, what are you looking at? And I tell her, I look at baseball cards or this and that. And so she's kind of gotten interested in those Topps Chrome Disney cards, and we've kind of got her introduced to those. And actually, Grandma and Grandpa got her introduced to those, really. So
I saw the Daffy, or the Donald Duck.
The Donald Duck, super short. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. The funniest thing about that, though, she knew. Because I've been looking at those Topps Chrome Disney cards, and so I was scrolling eBay, and she was looking at them. She's like, Donald Duck baseball card? And she got all interested about it. And she's like, I want a Donald baseball card. And so that's kind of where, she was, once she saw it, she was like, oh, I got to have a Donald baseball card. So we had to find it in the Royals uniform, because they make them into different uniforms. But Grandma and Grandpa found a Royals one for her. And so we got that in the nice one touch and displayed in her room. And she's actually got that set. We went ahead and just bindered it all up. And so if she wants to get it down, she can get it down and look at it. And
that's cool.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like you say, getting them interested and involved, that creates a bond. And I'm looking forward to, passing that down to them. So that's really cool that, you were able to do that with your kids, and just enjoy that. That's really what it's about, is bonding with them on that. So, very cool. Very cool. So, now this next question is going to be hard, because us collectors, most of us have many, many favorites in our collection. And so, when I ask you, this could change, on a day-to-day basis. I know for me, it would change on a day-to-day basis. What is one card from your collection that you would never sell? If you had one card that you could pick out, what would that be that you would never let go?
Part of me wants to say I don't think that exists, because I literally just sold a big old collection of my former PC, and some of those cards, most people thought I was insane for selling them, because I wanted to reset.
Okay.
I don't know that I have one that I wouldn't sell, not because I don't love it, but because I know there's more out there, and and if I was selling it, I'm probably selling it to someone who would appreciate it. So I don't know that I have one, to be honest.
Okay.
With you. Yeah.
Okay. And that's, I think that's fine as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Because, these cards can be replaced, as you know. I don't know. There's a few that would be awfully hard. When you talk about that T206 Honest Wagner, if you had that would be very hard to replace. Yeah. But most of us in our collection, we don't have that card in our collection. Right. So, but yeah, for me, there's a few, and it would be pretty hard for me to let a few of mine go. Yeah. Not saying that it couldn't happen if the situation arose for that, or whatever could be. But yeah, I don't think I could do that. I think there would be a couple cards that I would have to hang on to.
Do they have sentimental kind of because of how you got them, or just their value, or?
Value has a little bit to do with it. Yeah. Value has a little bit to do playing the long game with them a little bit, and just, kind of seeing how, if you hold some of those cards, maybe for my kids, maybe they can enjoy the benefit of those. So that's kind of my thinking on a few of mine, is just for the future of them, for when they get it, because you know, all of us collectors, we have to have kind of that idea for that when that moment comes too. And
Yeah.
as much as sometimes we don't want to talk about that, we have to think about that. Um, or, we put it all on our wife, and our wife has to decide what,
Yeah.
where the collection goes at that point. If she wants to, handle that, or if we have kids, if it goes to them and figure all that out. But yeah, there's a few that I would not let go, and that would be passed down to them, and whatever they decide, and that's fine. I'll leave that up to them, and I'll whatever, like I said, whatever at that point. So, but yeah, and we all collect. Like I said, we all collect different. We all have different viewpoints on that. You know, cards can be replaced. Generally.
Yeah.
And so you can always go out and you can always replace them. You can always find them.
Yeah.
Generally, I mean, as long as there's some super short, rare stuff
Yeah.
out there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's
So
part of it for me is, like I said, my collection is not anything big or fancy. And I think that's why it's not as hard for me to think about the potential
yeah,
of any letting them go. If I had something that, and honestly, I've had some stuff even that my son has bought for me
yeah,
in the past, and I've held on to those for a long time. And I think a
yeah.
couple of times the player left the team or whatever, and I always went to my son first and said, "Hey, are you okay with me letting this go?"
Sure.
And and he's like, "Yeah." And he actually has done the same with me. He's got one Kenneth Walker card. He's a Seahawks fan that I got him. It's a beautiful patch card,
Mhm.
and as you all know, unfortunately, K9 just went to the stinking Chiefs, um, and
Yes, I love it.
yeah, and he's moving all his Walker cards now. But he told me,
Really?
I want to keep this patch because you got it for me, and so that means a
Wow.
lot to me. So there is that sentimental side
Yeah,
to
sure.
cards sometimes.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I have some sentimental cards as well, and those would fall in that category too. I wouldn't want to sell,
Yeah,
and it's just one of them things is, yeah, we have certain cards in our collection. At least I do. I have certain cards in my collection that I will not let go,
yeah,
and that's just kind of my thinking on it.
yep,
But like I say, we all vary on how we go about our collection and that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's what makes this hobby great is we all collect. We all collect at our own pace, our own rate, what we enjoy, and there's no right or wrong way of going about it.
yep,
And so, just as long as you're enjoying it and it makes you happy, it
yep,
doesn't cause any stress or that. That's what this hobby is about. It's just taking yourself away from all that stress that you.
yep,
That's what I use this hobby as.
yep,
I use it to get away from things that is tougher, in our daily world and daily basis. And so,
yeah,
for sure. But
absolutely.
yeah, definitely. So, this next question's interesting because I know you buy a lot of cards like on social media. So you'll go on. I think you buy like, at least I knew you bought some on Facebook, and I don't know if you bought any on Instagram or that, but kind of take me through that, because that's something that I have no real experience at, buying cars off of Facebook or Instagram or whatnot or any of those.
Mhm.
So just kind of take us through, I guess, the modern style of buying
Yeah.
modern cards.
Well, and typically what I'm doing, because like I said, I'm a low end guy. I'm lot hunting is what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I'm looking for big lots that people are just wanting to offload.
Hmm.
I'm one of the rare few guys that wants to buy 1,000 of your low end cards and dig through them and relist them, because a lot of people don't want that hustle and that grind.
Yeah.
And I actually live for that hustle and that. I love that. I could do that all day. In fact, I sometimes have to make sure I don't do it all day. But yeah, so Facebook wise, I can't think of how many groups I've joined,
Hmm.
just card groups, and a lot of them are buy sell trade. There's some break ones, but really you just kind of get in and there's a lot of claim sales and stuff like that you can do where they list 500 different individual cards and claim. For me personally, I don't have the patience for that. I'm typically lot hunting. I'm like, are you selling a big lot? And if you are, talk to me. And the big things I know and learned is always when you buy, always use PayPal goods and services. Use something that will back you up in the event that you get scammed or whatever. Because if you use goods and services, you can get refunded. And same thing with Instagram, same thing. I don't really shop a lot on Instagram, but actually just last night, I actually bought a lot of what I would call bigger cards. And when I say bigger for me, it means I spent like $90 on like 10 cards. That was like, I was sweating. I just don't do that. But story sales are what I do a lot. Searching through story sales, and most guys they're gonna listen to a bundle offer. I've done some story sales. I've sold on Instagram some of my story sales, and that's kind of your goal is like you want someone to bundle, kind of like you would see at a card show, bundle up something and then make a deal. But same thing, PayPal, or if you're going to use like Venmo or whatever, use some way of making sure that you are backed up and supported. That's the biggest upside to eBay is, and that's why I tell people like that's where I love to shop the most, because I know they've got my back. You can't really get hosed on eBay. You just can't. I mean, you're going to have people that will try, but so that's, I mean, for me, really, that's what I'm mainly doing. I'm looking for lots on Facebook, and I'm looking at story sales where I can bundle some stuff together and make a flip lot. I'm a flipper. I love to flip. Like I love the hustle of flipping. I love the process. Like, it goes back, I think it goes to my organizing thing a little bit. So, I do. It's a self-sustaining hobby. Flipping is like, you can make some money so you can buy some more cards. My wife's like, do you ever save any of that? And I'm like, maybe. It's more used towards like PC. Like I might put some of this to a PC, and then the rest I'm going to buy and flip again. But it's nice because like, and I think you're like me, like this card money does not touch our family checking account. Like I have my own, and I think that's how it should be, to be honest. Like our hobby should not interfere with our family income. So I'm okay with it being whatever it is. And if it's the hustle of, eBay and setting up a card shows, I love to be the table where kids can come and be like, dude, you got 25 cent, 50 cent dollar cards. Yeah, I do. And like, have at it. I love that side of it. And I'm kind of the, I'm not exciting probably to a lot of people in that realm, because I'm just not, I'm not like I said, I bought $90 worth of cards last night, and I was like nervous hitting the send button. Like $90 usually means like 300 cards for me, not like 10 cards. Because there's more risk, there's more risk on the flip, obviously. So, anyways, that's kind of how I use social media for them. I've done Whatnot a couple times, and that's like the closest thing I can think of to a slot machine, if I'm dead honest. And I realized quickly, like, because once you swipe that first purchase, now you're like, well, I got to buy some more to make the shipping worth it. And then you're like, whoosh, whoosh, and I'm pretty sure that most of those guys could have a job as a car salesman on the sides, because man, they're like, they're convincing you that this Tom Brady Optic Hollow 2024 card is like $500,000 when it's $1, and they're like, this is a big deal, you got to bid on this. So anyways,
I gotta say, on the whole Whatnot thing, I within the last, I think I started mine up 3 weeks ago. I started a profile, have not done anything on it. Don't have really any intentions to sell on there. Mainly, I was just going to go, and I saw that there was a few vintage baseball stuff on there, and there's some good vintage baseball sellers on there. That was kind of what led me to even take a look at it. But for the fact of, me myself selling on there, That's an absolute no. I'm not going to, and I don't even know if I'll buy a card of it on there. It's kind of just fun to watch and see what
Yeah,
people have to offer
yeah.
and that. So,
I think
but
if you go into Whatnot knowing your cards, knowing what you're
mhm,
buying, you're okay. But if you're
yeah,
going in there kind of blind and dumb, and then you're gonna get taken to the woodshed because, like, they're convincing you're getting a heck of a deal, and you may not be. But if you know your
yeah,
cards, like, you can
sure,
get some great lots off of there. Don't get me wrong, like,
yeah,
and I've run some Whatnots myself. I will say this on the other side. I love running Whatnots. I love running Whatnots because it is like, and this is just how I ran mine. I think you were on it before. Mine is like I got like dad rock playing in the background, and we're just
hmm,
sitting, and it's like we're just
yeah,
chatting and throwing up some dollar cards and
yeah,
having at it. Like, it's not like any like panic chaos. It's just like a laid back atmosphere. It's almost like you were sitting in my living room and we're just dealing cards out, kind of thing.
sure,
Like,
sure,
that was a blast. It's just
yeah,
so stinking hard to whittle in the time regularly to make that happen. Like, that's what's hard for me, because I'd love to get back into Whatnot again on the
yeah,
selling side,
yeah.
just for the community.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, as that's the reason why I wanted to ask you that, because I knew you were buying a lot on like social media, and I have not even dipped my toes in buying on Facebook or Instagram or whatnot or that. So I just kind of wanted to get your kind of your views on that, and because that's a whole nother that's a foreign deal for me. I buy my cards generally eBay. That's
yeah,
that's where I strictly go, and just because it's easy. It's and the same way with selling, I just go on there. And do I not? I don't enjoy the eBay fees. I don't think anyone does,
yeah,
but they do a lot of the work for you.
yeah.
And if you have good cards, you don't have to do a whole lot of
Nope.
promotion. If you're selling good stuff on there, people will find it.
It's the
And
largest
you know,
audience you're going to ever be able to access, too. I
yeah,
mean, you're not going to get a bigger audience. There's
yeah,
not a platform that's going to reach that audience
yeah,
size.
sure,
And yeah, I mean, eBay is my primary go-to. I mean,
yeah,
it's sell, and I think I'm up to about 900 in my store right now. And I mean, I'm selling something every day.
really,
The lowest price I have in my store is $2.
hmm,
But I have offers, and yeah, I I enjoy it. Again, I enjoy the hustle of it. I enjoy, it's like, I think I've told you this before. It's like when you sell a card and you look at the buyer's last name, and it's like, well, that's weird. That's the same last name
hmm,
as the player. And then you message and find
yeah,
out, oh, this is this guy's dad. He's buying a
yeah.
card of his son. The
Yeah,
stuff like
that's
that. I
really
love
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's incredibly special when you're able to sell that to that family member. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I've ever ran across that. I don't think I've ever sold to a family member.
It's happened twice to me, I think.
Okay.
I think they were both
Cool.
kickers, believe it or not.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know what that
Uh,
means, but
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I like most of my card buying. I like to go to shops and shows.
yeah,
I like to actually also see it when I
yeah,
go. There's something to me. There's something about going into a shop and finding something that you're looking for, and especially if it's something that you've been looking for a while.
yeah,
I kind of do that every now and then. I'll run across kind of the store that we go to in Salina.
yeah.
So it's about as organized. It's not organized at all, but
Got lots of cards,
yeah,
though. It's got lots of cards.
lots and lots. It would take you. I don't even know how long it would take you to go through that store.
About as
We
long as
we
it takes for
understand
it to
it,
get a price.
but yeah. I mean, just it's one of them deals when you run across something that you're looking for. It's a good feeling. At least I enjoy it. It kind of surprises you, it catches you off guard, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I definitely want that." And
yeah,
so, and then sometimes you're not expecting, I've went into shops before and looking for vintage baseball and came out of there and I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting to come back with that. So it's one of them things that, yeah, when it makes a card buying a little better when you're able to see it,
yeah,
actually look at it, examine it, because we like to buy cards on eBay, but sometimes you run across some listings with horrible pictures, and by the
Yeah.
time you get it, you're just like, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not what you were intending to get back. And so that's frustrating as well, is when you think you've got a nice card on the way, and not to say that we all know sometimes it gets
Right.
damaged in the mail.
Yeah.
The USPS has been, I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of think with the whole shipping cards through eBay, to me it's a mess. It really is a mess. These last few weeks I've had so many labels not even get scanned at all.
Yeah.
And these, I'm not talking like standard envelope labels. I'm talking like $4 or $5 labels still not getting scanned.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I sent a card. Someone bought $100 Otani card from me not all that long ago. It was that image variation out of the 2018 set, and I sold it for $110, and paid the buyer paid like about $5 for shipping because I wanted it.
Sure.
I wanted to send it right and everything, and do a good job shipping that out. It did not get scanned until it left Kansas City.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I'm talking like probably 2 or 3 stops before
Yeah.
it gets scanned.
Yeah, and I was very nervous because I was just waiting. I was just waiting for that buyer to send me a message, and especially it was an Otani card, and I'm sure he was thinking, "Man, this hasn't been scanned through. He's gonna try to get me." And I was waiting for the message to come through where that buyer was going to be upset with me. Sometimes it's not our fault,
Yeah, a lot of times.
if the USPS is not scanning labels and it doesn't, like you say, if it doesn't get scanned in at least two stops, then it makes us sellers really have to worry, and I was worried. I tell you that much. I was extremely worried because I thought that buyer was going to be like, "Oh, you're trying to pull one on me and this and that," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
He didn't. Thank goodness he didn't send me a message, but I was looking for one because like I said, it didn't get scanned until it departed Kansas City. So, and it was only going, I think it was going to South Dakota.
Okay.
So it wasn't terribly far,
No.
but so I don't know.
There is and maybe I can even forward it to you and you can put it in the comments below, but there's a site that you can go to, like if you end up having to refund a customer because your card didn't arrive, there's actually a site where you can put a claim in, and get your money back, like almost like that. I've done that a few times and it works great, honestly.
Awesome. Yeah. I don't know the way some of these label issues are going. I mean, it might be a good idea that definitely looking into finding that out. And that's good that you've had good luck with it and everything. So generally I've had pretty good luck. It just takes a lot longer. Sometimes I've had where I've sent a card and it doesn't get scanned until the customer gets it. And it's just like, wow. I mean, it's like,
one of the other things that happens is that I get, this is the one I get the most, is that it's scanned in as delivered, but for some reason they scan it delivered, but it doesn't actually get delivered until like almost 2 days after it's scanned in as delivered. And so I'll get customers saying, "Hey, it says delivered, but it's not here." And I finally just started telling them, like, okay, this is happening regularly. Just wait about 2 days, and almost every time it's like, "Oh, yep, it's here." I don't know why they're doing that, but it's that's one more reason people are freaking out, because you're telling them it's delivered and it's not delivered.
Yeah, and they're expecting it when they get home from work or this and that. And they're like, I didn't get it. It says delivered. It's not anywhere around here, and so it's not as big of a deal for a cheap card, but when you're talking, your higher dollar cards that you're kind of like, this is not good. Then it definitely creates some kind of some tense moments, as a buyer and as a seller too. I mean, we both, it goes both ways. You both, and so I don't know what they're going to do, if there's anything that they can do to fix that, but it sure would be nice if the labels could get a little more where it was seen a little better, the tracking on it. So
I watched, I think it was a YouTube or I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy I was watching that literally wrote scan with an arrow pointing to and this is eBay standard.
yeah,
like, telling them scan this. I was like,
yeah.
shouldn't have to write scan. It's a barcode.
No.
They gotta scan it.
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. Not at all. Do you have any current hobby projects you're working on?
Yeah, actually, I am, and I've wanted to do this for a long time. I've wanted to be a consignment for folks.
Okay.
Again, because I'm the low end guy.
Sure.
So I actually have my first customer who's given me, gosh, I'm going to say 3,000 to 5,000 cards.
Wow.
Well, they wanted to sell me the lot, the whole set, and I told them, I said, I badly want to buy this from you, but I can't afford it. And I proposed to them, how about I consign for you? I'll use my eBay store, and so that's actually the project I'm working on right now. Is I'm consigning for this person, and I what I've done. So here's my strategy, just to share it with anybody if you ever want to do it. So
sure.
I build a Google sheet and create a layout so that I can keep track of every card that sells, and then enter in the sale price after fees and all that through my eBay store. And then I track the percentage I get and the percentage he gets. If you don't know me, I will find any excuse in the world to build a spreadsheet. So this is a perfect excuse to build a spreadsheet. But the great thing about Google Sheets is you can share them. So I actually shared it with this person that I bought it, that is consigning with me. And so then my other strategy is, because then the question is, well, how do you know what cards are his on your store? So all I did was I put his initials at the end of every one of my listings that are his.
Okay.
So that way he can actually search his initials in my store and he can see every card that's listed.
Cool.
And so anyways, so now I'm just selling his cards, and he can go onto that Google sheet whenever he wants and see what's sold of his. He can see what his current bank is right now, and whenever he wants to cash out, he just lets me know. And
nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a ComC, only the smaller version, I guess. It's a blast.
Yeah. Well, and at least you ship out faster than ComC, so that's always good too.
I have a little smaller inventory than they do right now.
It's true. Man, I tell you what, I ordered a card. Granted, it was around Christmas time, but man, it took almost a month by the time I got it from ComC. I was like, wow. I don't know. I generally don't order much from them because I don't typically like to buy from there. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's like, seriously, like I said earlier, I love the grind of doing that.
Well, that's cool.
And so it's like right up my alley. I absolutely love it. I'm hoping to maybe start acquiring some more folks that will do it with me, because it's like, if you don't want to mess with your low end stuff, but you still want to make some money off of it. This guy just said, I want to just I want to stay in the high end stuff. I want to just get rid of it. And I was like, well, you might as well let me sell them for you. Yeah. And and it's gone great. So
awesome. Good to hear that you're doing well with that. Because to me, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could handle. Sometimes I handle, what little bit of low end stuff I put on eBay. It's just like, man, I don't know if it's worth even doing this. So I got to give you credit for, getting a huge amount like that and finding the joy to do that, because a lot of people don't have a lot of enjoyment and piecing out, cheap cards like that. And so for sure, that's awesome. Very cool. You kind of touched on this earlier about the hobby, just about getting the youth involved and everything, about being a favorite thing. And currently that you've got, is there anything else that you like currently going on? Now, we know that there's a lot of negative industry there's a lot of, the way I feel, there's a lot of negativity when it comes to kind of the modern industry-wide scope of it all. Yeah. And we could, that's topics for a whole nother day. We could talk about, how Fanatics is, treating this hobby and and the true collector, and how they're, kind of making it more into a gambling, where they want the youth to kind of only care about the manufactured scarcity stuff, and the low numbered parallels and all that. That can be a whole topic another day. What is another thing, I guess, that you enjoy about this hobby?
I kind of going back to what you said. I think that like the whole COVID like just completely just flipped the hobby on its head. And there was a time there where I couldn't even take my boys to buy a pack of cards because, because we had people tracking the FedEx guys and all that. But I would say that I think it's up to us as real collectors to do what we're doing here, to kind of grassroots it again, like get it back down to. So to answer that, I mean, that's what I love about what I'm doing about the hobby right now is getting it back to the grassroots and getting it back to the community concept, and giving. There's nothing greater than like a kiddo coming up to you, and he's got a card that might be $1 or whatever in his hand, and he's like, this is my favorite player, and you're like, dude, just take it. It's yours, he's like,
exactly.
Seriously, like if we can get away from our business mindset and go back to this is a hobby and this is something we want people to love. And I feel like that's one of my main goals with what even my eBay and all that. Like I said, I'm more like a self-sustaining hobby than I am like a business right now. Now, would I love to make it a business so I could do it as my job?
Sure.
Who wouldn't? You and I have scouted buildings at times like, ooh, that would be a good store. But
exactly.
I mean, but in general, like I love keeping it where it's supposed to be, like keeping it in that realm of safe and enjoyable and not threatening, not toxic. I don't know. I think that's why, like, I kind of stay away from the streamers and stuff, except for some local guys. Like I'll do a break with a local guy because it's just, again, it's more like we're hanging out in his living room is what it feels like. And we're busting stuff open. But the whole monopoly of the breaking and what has happened, like it's just scary to me because it's like kind of like what are we going to teach? What are we teaching the next generation? And so what I love is, I love having. Just yesterday I had a couple of my boys' friends come into we're hanging out here in the guy shed. This is where my little corner is. He came in and he was like, he's looking for some of the new Topps rookie cards for basketball, And I was like, yeah, dude, flip through my boxes. And he found a couple and he's like, what about these? And I was like, give me $1. He's like, seriously? I said, yeah. I said, take it. And he was just looking, he wanted to build the rookie set. And I'm like, that's what we need. Like because we're teaching kids, like, you got to go find the case hit. You got to, and it's like the base cards are junk to them. Like they're just garbage. And it's like, there was a time where we wanted to build a set, and now it's like filler. It's almost like we're wasting time putting base cards in packs, is what it seems like, and that's just not how it's supposed to be, So all that to say, that's what my favorite part right now about the hobby is that I'm involved in is just keeping it grassroots and keeping it at the hobby level, not the business level.
Sure. No, everything you said there is definitely. That you made some great points about that. I actually, this last weekend, set up at the McPherson show. I had a young kid come by, and his sister and his mom was there, and I could tell his mom was agitated, didn't really want to be there. And the sister was looking. She was looking for San Francisco Giants players, which was interesting. And then he was looking for Dallas Cowboys. So I also, I have that cheap 50-cent. Box that they can go through, and so he was looking through the Cowboys section, and he grabbed my stack of Cowboys cards out, and just kind of thumbing through them and everything, and and I could tell he wanted to buy some, but
Yeah.
I heard the comment from the mom that, oh, you're not going to get any right now. You're not going to get any. And I don't know if she was like that at every other table that he was at, or it was just the table that, where he was at my table or that. But he ended up, I could tell there was a few that he was just kind of putting over to the side. And at the end of it, what I did was I grabbed the stack back from him, and then that stack that he kind of put over on the side, I said, "Here you go," and just
That's awesome.
let him have them. And I'm not sure if the mom really enjoyed that or not, but I didn't really care. So he got some cards from my table and that he enjoyed, and that's what it's about. Is if you can put a smile on their face, that's what it's about. And you kind of know what my table's like when I set up. I don't put anything too expensive or too crazy out. I don't put graded stuff out because there's enough of that at the show. I don't need to be blended in with the same stuff basically. I would rather put out $20 cards and maybe the occasional $50 to a little more, but give those options for those kids to come to my table and feel like they're able to participate. So and you're the same way. And you made the comment, it might not be the most attractive, at a card show, our tables, but for kids it is, because they can come by and they can, if they have a $10 bill or 20, they can buy some stuff if they wanted to. They don't feel like they're just walking, just being able not to buy anything. So but I think that's what I enjoy is about the hobby is the youth aspect of it. Keeping them interested and keeping them involved. And because like I said, hopefully we can keep them interested by the time that they're adults, that they're still have that, hey, I can go buy, maybe they can branch out. Maybe they'll branch out into vintage at that point, or pre-war or Pokemon. So it's a wide range that, you can always collect, and get into different, tracks on how you want to go about your hobby. So, but
I think too, the other thing with that is just and we've said it before, this is the community of, adult collectors. One of our good friends, Doug, who's just a cool guy, him and his son and his grandson. And like he refs sports, he refs basketball. And I mean, he's refs my son's basketball game and comes up and talks to it's like, so my kids are building these connections too, and it's such a big community, and it stretches far. Like, I mean, it really goes far. I never expected to be connected with people, over an hour or two away from where I live, just because we get together on a random Saturday morning once every month,
exactly.
And it teaches the kids too, that face-to-face interaction that they don't get, like to make a deal with someone and to shake hands and stuff like that. Like that is so missing for them. And I tell parents that come to our card corner, like, this is one of the best things about it is they learn how to interact face to face, because they don't get it like they used to.
Oh no, you're exactly right. Like the youth nowadays, like it's hard, it's hard for them to carry on conversations. And so, you get them to a card, a card show or that, and get them interested in, something like athletes and sports that they like, and can get them to talk, to adults even, talk, the wide range of, age, get them to talk to adults. You're right. That is building lifelong skills that they're going to need. And that's really what's important too. You're right. It's building more than just I'm going to put $20 in my pocket, or I'm going to add this card, type of deal. So for sure. But awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and get in these rapid fires real quick, and then we'll get on and end it tonight. But junk wax or ultra modern?
Oh, ultra modern.
Figured so. Yeah. No, just how you the flipping aspect of it. Yeah, I figured ultra modern all the way.
Now,
All
I
right.
didn't call it junk wax when I was collecting it as a kid. So to me, that was ultra modern at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Your preference, card shops or card shows?
I'd say card shows.
Card shows.
And
Okay.
I think it's again because of the community. And we don't really have a really local card shop right now. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of probably biased to having a card show because that is our card shop to a
Sure.
degree.
Sure. Yeah, that's how we, if we don't buy it online, that's how we mostly buy our cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right. So this kind of tying into how you purchase cards, the ways of purchasing, would it be eBay or social media sites? Preference.
If it's PC, most likely eBay.
Okay.
But if it's lots, social media. It's hard to
Okay.
find lots on eBay, honestly.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. I haven't really looked at lots on there, but I imagine it's a little tougher, and probably how they word it too on there. It's not the best. So
Well, and
I can see
honestly,
that.
like the thing I've always thought is if you're buying a card to flip on eBay, you're kind of setting the price level by what you buy. So to me, it's like if I'm buying stuff to flip, I don't know how you can buy it on eBay because whatever
Yeah.
you bought it at, that's now the comp. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. And as we got into earlier, I hate asking you this because it's hard for me to even say this, but I'll go with it. Favorite to collect: Jayhawks or Broncos?
Oh.
It's gonna be tough for you. We'll see. We'll see what your true love is here.
I think it's more. I think it's maybe more fun to collect Jayhawks,
Okay.
just because I think it's because of the college thing, and I mean
Sure.
I'd like to lean more towards the college uniforms, and now I'll buy them in their pros, but I don't know. There's just something kind of fun about collecting, the college guys.
Yeah.
Pros are pros. You can find a ton of that anywhere and everywhere. College is a little more unique, so.
That's funny you mentioned that. Pros are pros. I'm going to say college is pros.
Yeah. Now.
Now they are. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's true. You make a good point. College cards are going to be a lot easier to access now.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
You didn't necessarily see a lot of college uniform cards, even
No.
in like the 90s, unless it was their rookie card, maybe.
Yeah. No, I kind of go back and I think about that, collecting K-State cards. I try to think about that, collecting even those cards like in the late 90s. So I think I go back and I look at like Michael Bishop, great quarterback at Kansas State. Those were fun to collect. That was kind of real, you think about it, mid 90s. I think about mid 90s to the late 90s is when you started getting those, you started seeing a little bit of that. It was a press pass stuff and stuff like that. And they were kind of getting started and now it's full on, wide open Bowman and tops, and they're putting, they got the whole NIL deals with that. And it's cool because I guess I like that aspect. If I want to buy a current college favorite, I can go and do it easily, a lot more easily. And so that's nice. It's not as hard, it's a lot easier to pick those up. So, but,
I'm a Bowman U guy. I'm one of those.
Yeah, those are nice.
I love. I'm probably, my son makes fun of me because I always buy like Bowman U blasters, and I'm like, I don't know why. I love opening college.
No, it's good. It's a good looking product for sure. And the fact that like they put the obviously they're going to put the better players on those teams and try to push those out and as they get closer to being drafted, it's really cool to start adding to the collection. So for sure,
I get to put them into their pro teams, so it's more organizing for me.
Yeah, exactly. Favorite sport to collect: football or basketball? I didn't put baseball in here because I don't know how much of a baseball collector you truly are. So I was like, let's just go football and basketball because I know you collect those.
Yeah, I mean football's my go-to. Now basketball, if we're talking 90s, I love 90s basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, but football's, I mean, that's my wheelhouse.
Awesome. Well, Jerid, do you have anything you want to show anything before we hop off, or I don't know if you pulled anything down to? to take a
I'll
look?
hold a
Or
few down. Again, they're not crazy exciting because I'm one of those guys. But
hey, you know what? The way I look at it is, it's always exciting when we share cards.
that's right.
So it doesn't matter, even if it is those Jayhawks or Broncos. I guess
Well,
I'll allow it tonight.
On that note, I guess I'll start with one then. So I got this Jalen Wilson. This is actually a Leaf Red Mojo.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I'm not really necessarily always a Leaf guy, but I found this thing like dirt cheap, and it's a 1 of 1 because it's a pre-production.
Yep.
And I know you have some of those pre-production.
I do. Yeah.
So this is the back of it.
Yes.
It's like embossed. Yeah. And
yeah.
when I pulled, so it came in the Leaf. It came in a Leaf top loader. I mean, one touch sealed.
Yeah.
And I opened it, and pulled it out, and those things are like, they're not cardboard thick. They're like,
nope.
I was like, oh, okay, this is different.
It's almost like a sticker feel.
Yeah,
to me, they feel like a thin sticker is what I gather when I hold one. I guess I'll share one with you since you're on the Leaf. Since you're on the Leaf, I'll go with my 101 George Brett.
That's awesome.
So
that's cool, man.
And I tell you what, there's a lot of people that dog on Leaf, but you know what? When you can get, I know that it's not licensed product and this and that, and some people, they like it and they have to have that. But if like let's say this card, in instance, this is a 101 George Brett.
Right.
This is a 101 George Brett. It's got the 101 on the back. Right. It's autographed. The only thing is it doesn't have the KC on his helmet.
Right.
They do everything possible to try to hide the front of it. They try to cover up the front of the jersey most of the time. They try to do their best, I think. But when you can pick up those cards, at almost half the price of licensed product, the way I look at it is, it's for a PC, it's perfect for us, player collectors and team collectors. Yeah. When you can get 101s and they're autographed and that, it just makes sense to pick them up. I like I say, I understand that it gets a little bit of hate on it, but to me, I think there's the true collector's really going to enjoy it. In my opinion, they're going to enjoy it because it's about having it in their collection. They're not flipping it for. I'm not gonna sell this card. Right. I could go on and put it on eBay, but I'm not going to.
Right.
And I'm just choosing to keep that in my George Brett collection. And so as what you're doing with that one, you're choosing to buy 101s and they mean something to you. Yeah. And that's what I like. So
well, I mean, that's going back to the grassroots thing, like we said. Like if you're looking at it as a business and not a collector, then you're like, well, that's a stupid purchase. But we're looking at it as a grassroots collector. Like Jalen Wilson was a Jayhawk. I liked him a lot, and that card looks sick. Yeah. Why would I not put it in my collection for under $10? That's insane.
I agree. I agree completely. I mean, it makes perfect sense for us to add those, and and you're right. Really, the people that don't like them is the ones that try to resell. And and put them on eBay or flip them. They'll take them to shows, and they just realize that they can't sell them or can't move them at the value that they would be if they were licensed. Which it is what it is. That's the way I look at it. Is if you want to collect those type of cards, I guess I'll buy them. I'll sell them to me. So that's right. I'll buy them from you. So for sure. So
I was going to show you this one too. So this is Aqib Talib. This one's kind of meaningful to me because obviously the 08 Orange Bowl, the infamous Kansas 2008 season was pretty huge because they won the national championship and the Orange Bowl. But the most important thing that happened this season was my oldest son was born. So he was born in a championship year, and So that season and that year has got a lot of meaning to me. But
for sure.
The Aqib Talib picture, the picture and the auto is pretty sick. So that was one of my other ones. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jerid, that was a fantastic chat. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you hopping on this evening. Like I say, your friendship is everything to me. That you're just a great friend of mine. And I just, it's so cool that that I'm now in the town that you live in. And, if we want to have a card chat, you can come over here and, just, that's what's great is we can just, have those times and those nights where, if we just want to, show some cards and go through some stuff, we can. And it just makes, that's what the hobby's all about, is just sharing our collections. I think more people need to share it. And I think, with the way that social media is, I think a lot of people do. It's just, we need to get it to just share it with other guys and other collectors and just enjoy what we have.
Yeah.
Enjoy that and just be grateful for it. And, like I said, the cards bring us together. It's the friendships that last. And I'll consider you a friend for the rest of my life. So that's really what it's all about. So
I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm honored. I was honored to get you on. Like I said earlier, I wanted to have you on. And when I thought of this collaboration series, I was like, definitely he's coming on. So we just got to make it work. So,
thanks for having me, brother. The feeling is very, very mutual. I couldn't think of my card life without you, let alone my regular life. So
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, I'm going to, like I said, I briefly kind of mentioned it, but you can find him on Facebook, the Card Collector Corner, and you can also find him on Instagram. And I think if you can pull him, I think you can look you up on YouTube and go ahead and subscribe to him, guys. Go ahead and watch his stuff from earlier, and maybe we'll entice him to come back and start putting videos out. And
I need to, man. I need to. This is getting the itch now.
Yeah, it does. I tell you, I started this in August of last year, and it's taken my collecting to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It really has. Just because, we can only talk to our wives so much about it, and then they're like, I don't want to hear any more about your stuff, how you go about it. So, and my wife, she'll listen every now and then. But it's got to be certain times that she's really, going to pay attention to it. And so, the way I look at it is, if you want to come down here and put out a video, you can, share some pickups or do a live with someone or do a collab with someone. That's awesome. That's So
and we're lucky enough to have wives that let us and support us in it too. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, for sure. So well, Jerid, if you don't have anything, we'll go ahead and wrap this up and end it. So
all right, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks.
All right, thank you, guys, and we'll talk to you guys later from the card bar. Hopefully, everyone has a great evening and keep collecting, guys. We'll see ya.